Welcome to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're here to have honest conversations about how to follow Jesus and parent kids in a whole person way. For more content and encouragement as we support you on your journey, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. We're so glad you're here. Now let's jump in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're glad that you could join us today. We're currently in our series called Are We There Yet?
Yep.
Walking through the stages of development. So it's been fun. It's been good. Please pardon if you hear like rain or
thunder,
any thunder kind of
tornado
things outside.
sirens.
Yeah, we
legit
are in weird weather right now.
Yeah, this is extreme podcasting.
Yeah.
From the Whole Person Parenting Podcast.
Yeah, living on the edge.
Yes, we are. We just got out of our downstairs bathroom where we were taking cover.
Yeah.
So we were about to record.
We should do our podcast.
Yeah. We were about to record, got interrupted by a tornado situation.
Mm-hmm.
We're back at it.
Yeah.
We will not be stopped. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also still smell like Mexican food, but I just,
we did do that first.
Go to a Mexican restaurant, the smell just lingers with you.
It really does.
It just doesn't go away. It's the same with like chicken places, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But those two are specifically
barbecue.
The worst ones. Really? I don't really get barbecue.
So.
I don't think barbecue sticks to me as much.
Maybe not.
I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, it started storming, so of course we went out to eat, as Oklahomans do. And
now we're here.
So
yeah.
Without further ado, we want to get into it.
Sure.
What our episode's about today.
All right. So we are talking about what I think is a really fun age.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fun. So I think it'll be cool to talk about. But like what we call early childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So like ages 4 to 6 is about where we're at and where we're looking at today.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like for me, this is the age that I actually like can start remembering things. Like, you know, I don't really remember much from like 3 and younger. And the memories that I think I even do have, I feel like they might be made up, you know? And so I feel like
they're a little foggy.
They're a little foggy, a little hazy.
Yeah.
Like, did I just dream that and I think it's a memory or something like that? Yeah. But like from ages like 4 to 6, I would say like I have like concrete memories and things I remember doing. Still like less clear than other like memories like middle school or anything, but like still
we haven't really talked about the memories. It's making me think about go ahead and finish your thought and then I have something.
Well, I was about to say I just remember that was the first time I actually like, and this is something that we like know cognitively makes sense, but like that is like this age is the first time I remember people, like
other people.
Other people. Like I remember Braden for the first time, like like that he was there, like
you exist.
Yeah, you exist. And parents not so much, but like my childhood friends and things like that. Like those are the people I can kind of remember at least.
Yeah.
If I try and if I think about it. And
yeah.
So what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that part of the why behind that, like the memory thing. So this could go deep. We could talk about this in another episode because I think it relates to like what do children really remember kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't remember like explicitly things until you have symbolic representation.
Okay.
And that's like your very earliest memories can come after that. And that basically means that like there's some kind of, it's like where words can become symbols. And you have to be able to have like, you have to be able to know like that this is called a table before I can remember, like have a memory of a table. Like I have to remember.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it has to have like language attached
to have meaning to it.
Yes. And so it has to like somehow, whether that's like spoken language or other kinds of, you know, like sign language even, but like some kind of symbol that represents the thing that I'm remembering.
Yeah.
So like in order for the memory to get stored in a way that I can recall, it has to have that like attached to it.
That's interesting.
So We do actually have memories before this age, but you may not have all the words to really store those memories.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's interesting.
Interesting fact.
Yeah.
So you definitely have that going on by now because you've got a lot of language.
Yeah. So
a lot more.
When we were talking kind of about this age, we thought it'd be important to just kind of like name some milestones that like you'll be seeing in this age, which like kind of could feel redundant if you like don't realize the importance of it, because otherwise it's just like, well, I can see kids, I know that these are milestones, you know, but like it's also important to name, because what if someone's not hitting that milestone and then you realize, oh, okay, there's something there that we need to explore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked through a couple milestones being like motor skills, like jumping and running, standing on one foot, things like that you wouldn't do as a baby, because that'd be weird.
Yeah,
like imagine a little baby.
Like I saw this reel recently where this like lady had a baby, and then she was kind of, you know, in that like post delivery like kind of weirdness. Yeah. And there's a better name for that, but we'll call it post delivery weirdness right now. And the baby was crying, and she looked horrified. That looks horrified look on her face, and she was like, he has teeth. Like he has 2 teeth. And so like he was born with a couple of teeth, and like freaked her out.
I understand.
And so baby sitting on one leg. Yeah, that would be weird too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's weird when you see things that are out of developmental norm.
Right. Well, that's why it's like I love those AI videos of like the babies dancing.
Oh yeah.
Like they're like busting it down, and
so funny.
Well, it's just like weird. It's just like abnormal.
Yeah, it's weird,
like
to
weird
see.
to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, motor skills, language acquisition. So like being able to form full sentences. You see, I mean, this is like what you think of kindergarten as, right? Like you're learning your ABCs, you're learning shapes, you're learning how to write your name.
Yeah, you learn time.
Time, yes. Like what a nickel and a dime is. Yeah, money. Like I remember having to learn so much about money. Yeah, as kids, which I mean, I feel like it's irrelevant now because literally the penny is literally being retired.
I know.
So I'm like, what?
Sad face.
It is sad. I was like, the penny was the easy one to remember.
Because it's a different color.
I was just going to say because it's one.
Oh, okay.
But also because it's a different color.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true. Anyway, we digress.
But yeah, so there's those things. I remember like a lot of the things you hear as when you're in that age is like playing with other people, sharing is caring, playing with toys, being able to enjoy, taking turns, being kind, things like that.
Yeah.
So.
It's also like the beginning when you think about like the being kind and everything. It's the beginning of really understanding that other people have like feelings.
Yeah, so it's like the development of like empathy too. So I always use empathy as just like being able to put yourself in someone's shoes. Which maybe that's like too broad of it.
No, I think that's a good like basic definition of and it's like, I
can see that you also have feelings. I recognize that, and I realize that,
and I feel for you in that. Like,
and also I realize that if I was hit, I would start crying too.
Yeah, right. Like, or I didn't get, like, I don't know. Maybe you see your friend fall down, and so then you're like, oh, you're sad. Like, let me comfort you the way that like I've been being comforted by my,
which is why that's so important. Yeah. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
To comfort, because ultimately as they're going into these new relationships, they're taking what they learned from the relationship and how you have cared for them, the parent, and how you respond to those kinds of situations. And they're gonna, so like if their parent sees a kid fall and it just walks away, then the kid's probably gonna do the same thing, and the world, that's gonna be difficult to come back from, and that's just going to be like an
right
unproportionate like application of empathy, I guess.
Like a mismatch response. Basically. So Yeah, good point. That they start to learn this. They've been learning it, right? They've been learning like what comfort is, hopefully from their caregiver. Like when they're upset, then their caregiver comforts them.
Yeah.
They attend to them, and so then they start learning like, oh, there's other people, and I can do that too. And so this is like, this is also the age where they start going to school more.
Yeah. So teachers, they have another authority figure added, other than just family, or maybe like a Sunday school teacher or something, or
like nursery work or something,
nursery work or something like that, or daycare.
But somebody that you're seeing very like regularly.
Very regularly, and it's in a different kind of context. Like they're not your mom. Like they're not like providing food for you, or they're not like I don't even like.
They're like adult helper.
They're adult helper, but they're not caretaker. If that makes sense. They're just
right. Well,
directive.
they're caring for a lot of kids.
Yes.
And so
and so you don't have that direct attention.
You don't have always their full attention. Their attention's divided.
Yeah.
Among other children. And so like your needs may not be met immediately. You may they may not attend to you immediately or not be able to. Yeah. And so you have to kind of learn to go with the flow a bit more. You have to be like, if you have a child who's like very rigid, then this can be a difficult time for them because they're not in control. Yeah. Things don't always go their way. You know, so that really, you know, makes me think about just the expectations that we're setting for kids as parents. That may not be, they're not realistic, right? Because when they go to school, they can't have all the attention. They can't always get what they're wanting. And so when we have like a very, unboundaried relationship where they're not learning like, okay, here's the limit, like what we were just talking about in the last episode.
And school's going to be really hard for them.
Then that's going to be a lot harder. Yeah.
And I think that can cause a lot of like, I mean, if the parent is unable to recognize like, oh, I didn't create boundaries, like this is on me, whenever the teacher gets them in trouble or, you know, they're having these conversations with the teacher, it could be really easy to put the blame on the teacher. And I'm not saying all teachers are perfect because they're not, but you have to be able to like self-reflect, I think, to be like, okay, where did I miss the mark here?
Right.
Where did I, take a misstep maybe?
Did I?
Did I or did I not? And
is it partially temperament of the child, you know? Yeah. Because some children are more like readily compliant than other children are. And there may be other factors coming into play that where the parent may have found a workaround in the home, but then that workaround's not going to work in a setting like with a lot of different children or where you have set rules and expectations, then workarounds are not going to be, you know, very helpful. So, you know, I can give an example about like, you know, say that you have a class snack and the child is, you know, used to only eating certain things and will never ever eat that. And maybe they, you know, throw a tantrum because they're not fully able to regulate their emotions yet, or maybe that's
picky eater kids.
Yeah. And so then that could cause difficulty. Yeah. If there's the kid at school that tends to get in trouble a lot, sometimes that can cause even social issues, right? And it can cause
because then
self-esteem difficulties because it's like they can't.
Well, I was also the kid that was very judgmental. I was like, you can't just obey the teacher. And I had this vendetta against the kids that couldn't like get it together. And I remember one specifically, and I did not like him. And I remember having to sit next to him. I think his name was like Buzz or something.
I was about to say, don't name names.
I don't even know what his name was. I think it was something weird like Buzz, but I could be totally wrong. And
okay, if your name is Buzz, it's okay. We don't want to call your name weird.
But he would burp in my face, and the teacher would get on to him.
Oh my goodness!
I know, and he was like a really tall first grader.
Yeah,
and so I just felt like he was this big bully. He probably wasn't really.
Oh my goodness!
But he would burp in my face, and the teacher would tell him to stop, and I would just felt like I don't like him, you know. And then there's like a social issue of like,
Yeah, like they can become like kind of outcasts
Yes, because
in the
they don't
classroom because they're not complying with
behave.
everybody
Yeah.
else.
Which
Yeah.
the same thing, I mean, we'll talk about later childhood later on, but I feel like the same thing happens in elementary school. There's always that like problem kid. I remember we had like a sub one time, and there was the problem kid, and they had told it, like my teacher had told him like if he acts out, like leave the classroom, and the sub will handle him. Like my teacher had prematurely told me that, and it happened the day that
Your
the sub
teacher
was
told
there.
you that?
Like our whole class.
Oh, okay.
No, not just me. She was like, if he starts like kicking chairs and throwing desks like he usually does, like just leave the classroom. Like she had to tell us that ahead of time.
Oh my goodness.
And so we knew, like as soon as he did it, what to
Buzz
do.
acted up.
But like it was like no one liked him because he was the
Yeah.
angry mean kid. No, he probably was fine. He probably wasn't that. He was just troubled. He was a troubled.
He was
kid.
having trouble. He was having he was having difficulty maintaining like,
and he just threw around desks.
Yeah. He was having trouble maintaining his emotions and regulating his behavior. Yeah. And so when that happens, then this can cause these like social issues. And so a lot of actually what happens during this age range has to do with social emotional learning and social emotional development. And so it's where they start learning how to be like in community with other people. If we look at it on like broader terms, they learn how to make friends. They learn they start learning about who I am, who you are. Their imaginative play increases, and then they want to play with a friend. So we really see that relational aspect of their life moving toward, not just with caregivers, but like toward relationships with other children or people, kids who are like them. And so you'll see this a lot with like little girls playing with little girls and little boys playing with little boys. So we start seeing ourselves in other people and we're seeing people that we want to be like. And so we start kind of forming these groups together.
And I feel like that kind of goes into the imaginative play aspect of it. So like a big part of this developmental stage is you'll see like people wanting to make up stories. Like I remember specifically like my 3 friends, and at the time I was like, they're so immature. That's what I thought. I was like, they're so mature. They only want to do make believe. I just thought.
I don't know why you had this attitude about it because I definitely leaned into the make believe.
I didn't. I was not good at make believe. I mean,
but I mean, even with you guys, like I tried. Like
I mean, I was better at make believe in like me and Brayden, like make believe like theater. Like I could make up like acting and like I was a singer and like all that stuff. But I remember my friends wanting to play like fairies or like play house. And I just did not like that. I was like
fairies.
I was like, fairies is so stupid. And I would always just leave them. That was a terrible.
But did you like being like the teacher in play? I feel like that you were the teacher for Brayden. Sometimes.
I was always the authority.
Yeah, she was the authority figure.
I really was. I remember, this is such a stupid story too. I remember, okay, so this is probably actually the right around this right time, because I think the fairy thing was probably 2nd and 3rd grade, but this was probably when I was 4 or 5.
Okay.
Was that when I was in pre-K.
Okay.
And I had my little pre-K boyfriend, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Do you remember him? Jeffrey Jefferson, or what was it?
I don't know. That doesn't sound right.
I don't think that's right.
Jeffrey Jefferson. I don't think so. I don't think Buzz or Jeffrey Jefferson ever existed.
Well, I always wanted. I always wanted to play. If I wanted to play something, I wanted to play something that was real. If that makes sense. And so we would
you
play
wanted to like play pretend, but like real life.
We would play husband and wife, and we would do our kitchen.
Yes.
And we would have our kitchen together. And I was very just like, you need to be my husband, and you need to be a good husband.
Oh my goodness.
I was very like direct, and I think one day I remember I made him mad, and I go up to him and I whisper in his ear, and I'm like, "Am I still your girlfriend?"
Aw. Yes.
Because I made him mad because I was bossing him around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you realize like, oh, I have made a mistake.
Well, and then I
made
also
an epic
remember
mistake here.
at that same time, I would play with the teacher. I played checkers with the teacher more than I played other things. She taught me how to play checkers. And I remember one time I beat her, and I was really happy about it.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I remember from those times. But I say all that to say it's really important to have imagination because I'm not saying that I'm like behind because I there's something wrong with me because I couldn't imaginatively
I think
play.
you're like realizing, you're having a realization like, wait a second.
Not developmentally.
What's happening?
Yeah. On track basically.
You're like, I need to process this now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But I say that to say as well that boys play with boy games. Like sword fighting and ninjas
like
and superheroes, and girls typically
like role games.
Yeah, and they like that kind of stuff. I mean, I remember me and Braden would play sword fight.
You had a brother, so you're like,
with Braden, like, and we would get sticks in the backyard and we'd sword fight and stuff like that.
But Braden probably played fairies. I don't know.
I did make him dress up as a model one time, and he played model with me. With all my makeup. But I think I was older then. I think I just made him do that in like 6th grade.
I don't think it was that late.
I think it was. Oh my goodness. I think it was that late.
The pictures I have, he was like 3 probably.
Oh no, I have different pictures. Of different times.
Oh yeah, I do. I remember those. It just popped in my head with blue eyeshadow one.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That's funny.
But yeah, so I mean, it's like, it's a good, I'm assuming that you're saying like it's a good thing that there's like boys want to play with boys and girls want to play with girls, and because they see similarities.
Yeah, they're trying to identify like,
not because it's
who
like,
am I?
I don't want to be with.
Yeah, it's not. It's like, who am I? I'm like you. You're like me, and then this is like the adults that we've seen in our lives, right? So like maybe the little girl wants to be the mommy, or maybe she wants to be the wife, right? Yeah. And like whatever that means. And so like that could look different, like from like culturally, from family to family or child to child. But in general, they want to be like someone else. And so, and maybe that's even like, I want to be a superhero, or I want to be a firefighter, or I want to dress up like, I don't know, some other profession. Yeah. Right. And, because I realize that people have, kind of roles to play in the world, and they're beginning to start figuring out who they are and who other people are. Yeah. And so this will be like this is a really important time, to learn like, how do we do relationships with other people? Yeah. And I think that like,
I feel like that like really is like maybe not the most important development thing, but like it's very important.
It is very important.
Because I feel like too, like that's kind of the thing that everything else stems from. Like you like having conversations with people. Like that's where the language stuff comes in. Writing with your classmates. So you're learning all these things at the same time. Right. So like, yeah.
And like, even like around 5 years old, you're able to have like a back and forth kind of conversation. And sort of the building blocks for that are happening earlier in life, with a caregiver like talking to you, even when there's baby
say
talk,
yes or no,
but the caregiver says something and pauses and waits for the baby to respond, and then they say something back, and it's like it's a serve and return thing happening with the language. But in this case, then they're actually being able to like express their thoughts. And so it's really important for parents to give language for the child too. So they want to express their thoughts, but they might have difficulty finding all the right words for it. And so helping them, whenever you think you kind of know what they're trying to say and what they're trying to express, then you're offering them new words. You're offering them explanation. And it's not super teachy, but it's more conversational than that. And so that's a important thing. I was thinking too about just like positive reinforcement, like offering praise to kids in this age is really important too. And it's a sort of a discipline kind of in the realm of discipline technique. And so a lot of times we think about discipline in terms of like consequences or punishment, but really discipline is helping the child know like where that boundary is. It's like, where's the line, what you can and you can't do, what's okay, what's not okay. And so like one of the ways you can do that is to give less attention to negative behavior and give more attention to positive behavior.
Yeah.
So, and if you think about attention, meaning really like connection, then I want to connect with you in positive ways so you don't seek connection through negative behavior. Yeah, because they are going to continue to want connection with you. They're going to maybe want connection with other people. And then we want to teach them like the appropriate way to get connection and not do that through misbehavior.
Yeah.
And so just praising what you like, praise what you want to see. If there's something that you don't like seeing, find the opposite, the positive opposite of that behavior, and then catch your child doing it. So catch them doing the right things and praise them for when they do the right things. So if they are starting to be, whiny or be like using baby talk whenever you're trying to encourage them to use like bigger kid words or bigger kid tone, then catch them when they use the bigger kid tone and be like, that was so great. Like you use your big girl voice. You've used your big girl words there. And then I knew exactly what you meant. And that was really good. Like it helped us. So, paying attention to those positive things that you want to see, is a gentle way. It's not like gentle parenting, but it's like a gentle way of showing them, what you do want to see. Because telling a child what you don't want them to do doesn't tell them what you do want them to do.
Yeah.
Right? So better off to say, do this instead. If you want my attention, do this to get it, instead of like tapping on me 50 million times and saying, Mama, what else can they do? What do you want them to do? Instead of just saying stop, well, then what alternative, right, do they have?
Yeah.
So,
well, honestly, what's really important about this time is really to find joy in the parenting of it.
So how can we, be in this stage of parenting that is just a lot of fun, and so much about how kids are going to learn how to interact with other people and
even interact with their relationship with the Lord. Like,
absolutely.
How are they sharing with the Lord? How are they delighting in the Lord?
Yeah.
Same way with like delighting in friends. Like,
right.
What does friendship look like?
Right.
Friendship with the Lord look like?
Absolutely. I mean,
it's the first like tangible experience that they have with friendship.
I think just something that we can consider too about this stage of childhood, that they are learning who other people are. Yeah. So they're beginning to be able to learn who Jesus is and learn.
Oh, that was a loud thunder. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it was quite loud.
It's very loud. To be able to have community and communion with Jesus, and being able to really learn that how God feels about them and what it means to have a relationship with Him.
Yeah, and Scripture talks a lot about like, come to me, little children. Like that the Lord loves children, and I think He loves children so much just because like, I think purity and innocence, yes, but just like the joy and like childhood brings, like there's not a heart defiled by like worry or just like the things of like what we grow up into, there's like something really special about this age. And so that's why I think part of the role of the parent in this age is to delight with the child, like delight in the joy of the Lord and I mean, in His presence, there's fullness of joy. And so like taking that and experiencing in a new way, like learning beside your child what it means to fully have joy. And Jesus talks about childhood a little bit in Matthew 18, but it's kind of in a weird context. So it's the disciples asking who is the greatest among us, you know? And so it says in chapter 18, verse 1 through 5, it says, "At that time, the disciples came to Jesus, saying, 'Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?' And calling to him a child, he put him in the midst of them and said, 'Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. But whosoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea,'" which is really like this kind of horrifying image that the Lord gives, where he's like, if you lead a child to sin, it there should be the worst punishment upon you, because that's how much he cares for the hearts of children. And he says the greatest in the kingdom of heaven are the ones that have the childlike spirit. And so it's really easy to be like, childhood is like ignorance and stupidity,
temporary, and like we're just trying to raise little adults.
We're trying to raise children to be like children, because that's what Jesus says is the best way to do it. And that though, like, children are the have the kingdom of heaven. It says, "Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never he says you will even never enter the kingdom of heaven." And I think that applies, in an eternal way, but also in, like, since we are citizens of heaven here on earth, if we're not operating out of like a childlikeness, then we are not fulfilling our role. As
and we
can't
experience what that is here on earth. Like, we can't experience heaven on earth
unless we bring it into like a faith of like a wonder and awe. And
so sharing in that is so important with your child. So as they're pretending, and as they're discovering, and as they're learning new words and expression and emotions and excitement and curiosity, all of those things, like being able to share in that discovery and joy with them.
For sure.
So
and not discouraging it. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, find enjoyment in this. I encourage you to read scripture, find places in scripture where Jesus talks about children and what it looks like to come to him with a childlike spirit, and then to encourage your children in that as well. And so we thank you guys for listening, and we'll be back with you in a couple weeks for our next episode in this series. But yeah, thank you guys. Bye.